when I got asked if I could come out and introduce Pantry, I thought that'd be a great idea. It sounds like a lot of fun. But when I was packing for the trip, I realized I didn't know how to dress for such an occasion. I mean, I've never done this, never been to a demo day. But then I just started thinking about who I'm introducing, and I thought, oh, I know what I'm going to do. So anyone who knows Tom from Pantry knows he either just has one T-shirt or he has one closet with all the same T-shirt. So, right? He always has a smile on his face. He always has a T-shirt that says Pantry. Now, being the publisher of The Spoon and the founder of the Smart Kitchen Summit, I look at a lot of startups and a lot of food tech startups, and I can't say that I can predict with any certainty which ones are going to be successful, but I've noticed a few characteristics, and one of those is a passion and a vision and an enthusiasm and actually being a great pitch man. And from what I know of Tom, I see that those traits are with him. I met his co-founders. I think they're great guys as well. And when you look at what they're doing, it's also a difficult problem, right? So it's more than just the founders. I write about food tech, been writing about the kitchen for a long time, and I've been thinking about how ultimately we're going to move from buying these consumable goods by going into the store, walking down the middle of the grocery store that's now dying, to ultimately we're doing it online, pushing a button. But I've always felt that ultimately this moves into the devices themselves. The point of sale moves to the devices with IoT. And this is a very hard problem to solve. No one's solved it yet, and this is a problem that they're working on. So I've been excited to watch their progress. I'm excited to hear about what they're going to do. So let's welcome Tom up on stage to hear more about Pantry.
So these guys aren't. This was the Edeka Superstore, or supermarket, here in the centre of Munich last week. It was 7:30 p.m. and it was just before the bank holiday. And those of you from Germany probably know what that's like. It was anarchy. And, okay, this is an extreme example, but how often do you find yourself stood at the back of a long queue, staring down at a basket full of repetitive weekly purchases? Now, as you can probably tell, I'm from the UK, and over there, around half of us are actually shopping online for our groceries now fairly regularly. And that's solved the problem to a certain degree. But the trouble is, we often forget to add things into our basket that are important. So, yet again, we end up back here. And you might be wondering, well, Tom, there's online subscriptions. And they work really well too. But the trouble with an online subscription is that over time you build up an excess in product, and so you cancel it, you use the product up, and you forget to restart it. So yet again you end up back in the store. And the big problem with that is it just wastes valuable time. And so when we were thinking about how can we solve this, all these items that we buy week in, week out, that are just essential, unemotive items, we thought there must be a way to do it automatically somehow. So we built Pantri, the intelligent subscription platform. Let me show you how it works. So first off, here in our Pantry panel application, we'll provide you with a selection of regular repeat essentials that you can put on a standard calendar subscription. Like here with dishwasher tablets that are set to be delivered once a month. And if you run out in the meantime, you can one-click buy to get a quick top-up. Super quick. But then we want to start adding intelligence. And so what we then do is we'll reach out to you periodically to have a conversation with you. Just check that everything's going well with the subscription, you're not getting overstocked, and you're not getting unhappy with the product. Like here in our messenger bot. But, as Mike alluded to just, in the future, rather than having a conversation with you, we want to have a conversation with your appliances instead. Think that's far out? Well, the likes of BSH and other appliance manufacturers have devices in store today that have the capabilities to communicate with Pantry. And even more exciting than that, there's a whole raft of startups that are now appearing. Yeah, you'll recognize some of them. But the problem there is that now you've got all of these different devices and all these different manufacturers and all these different retailers that are all trying to connect. Most importantly, for us, the users, we end up with loads of applications and a real headache. But with Pantri, rather than having those 10 applications, you've now just got one, and that works automatically. And in the background, all these different appliance manufacturers and devices can communicate to all these retailers through a single place. And so, where are we at the moment? Well, we're currently having discussions with the vast majority of the appliance industry and some of the UK's largest retailers. We're launching this year in the summer in the UK, initially focusing on test users, trying out our standard calendar subscriptions, and then also with a retail chain that's going to sell Pantri subscriptions as part of a smart appliance service, smart appliance sale. And then next, we'll look to take that knowledge and expand and scale in the UK and then the US. And so how do we make money? Well, just like all the other e-commerce platforms, we charge a markup on an order that we facilitate that we then forward on to a fulfiller. To give you an example of what that looks like, with just a small basket of items, our unit economics sit at $35 per user per year. And as for our market, well, the UK online grocery market alone is worth $15 billion a year, of which various surveys have said that around half of those want to automate some of that replenishment. We're initially focusing on tech early adopters, 3% of that market, giving us an initial obtainable market of just shy of $250 million. But this all sits within the global grocery market that's worth $6 trillion, the largest market there is. Online grocery is the fastest growing segment of that. How much of that will be automated over the next 10 years? And so to take advantage of this opportunity, we built a visionary team, Ian, James, and myself. And we've observed that today, no appliances can do the shopping. But in the future, only the appliances will shop through a few networks like Pantri. The question is, what will we all do with that free time? I'm going to hang out with these guys. Thank you. I'm Tom from Pantri.